Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to make this quick because I caught this movie while I couldn't sleep last night. And I woke up because I usually wake up around 3 in the morning. And I said, oh, okay, there's a new movie. Actually, I saw it last night before I was about to go to bed. I actually watched it when I couldn't sleep and woke up in the middle of the night because I knew this movie was going to be the joke that I thought it was going to be when I saw it on Netflix. And it is a joke. It's a mess of a movie. Let me tell y'all. I said, is this movie literally going to be about grass? And it is. It is literally a movie about grass. Now, I saw that there was some supernatural element, I believe, that's supposed to be what's going on here that has to do with this movie. But let's just get into it. So, you get all these random people. At first, I was like, okay, is this going to be one of the movies where everybody just disappears and you just keep running into these random people over again? Because I was like, this movie's too long for that. I don't understand what's happening. I kept clicking the little button because I was like, how is there still an hour left? What is there left to do in an hour for this movie? I'll tell you what's left to do. They walk through the grass. That's what's happening. They walk through the grass. That's all they're doing. They're wandering through the grass. So you get there, right? It's a couple. They're in the car. She's upset. It's not a couple. It's a brother and a sister, but I thought they were a couple. I still feel like there's some funky, weird stuff going on in that relationship. She's trying to run away because her baby daddy, he doesn't want to take care of the baby. And, they're just trying to start over again. Great, great, great. Fun, fun, fun. They go to this random church. They stop. They hear a little boy. He's inside of the grass. He's calling for help. They get out the car like fools to go and get him some help inside of the car. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. They're trying to be helpful people. She's emotional, I guess, maybe because she's pregnant. She's going to have a baby. So she's really feeling for this child in the grass. Of course, I'm always on we don't get out the car on road trips. We don't, you go to well populated, well lit areas in towns with people, i.e., witnesses. That's how I roll. I'm not just pulling over at random churches out in the middle of nowhere. Now, I guess because there are all these other random cars out there that clearly look abandoned, though, because they've all got dust on them. Some are very, very old. And so these are obviously not cars that just got here. These are cars that have been here for a minute at this random church out in the middle of nowhere. So to me, I'm like, well, that means, this is not the place you need to be. You need to keep moving. They stop, of course. So they're like, let's try to go help them. So they're out there in this grass. So my other thing is, I'm like, maybe it's just because I've never traveled to a place that has tall grass like this. I'm from Texas. I'm originally from Houston. I live up in North Texas now. So there's wheat and other wheat products. I've seen those fields. I've seen the corn. I've seen, the swampy kind of grass. I've seen all those things. So I'm like, all right, I've seen the East Texas has the forest and things, but I haven't seen grass like this. So they're going through this random grass and they're walking. They get lost, of course. I don't even remember when they run into the boy, if they run into the boy. It's terrible. They get lost, of course, because how do you tell where you're going in all this random grass? And then there's just all these long shots of the grass blowing in the wind. And I'm just like, I didn't need that. I know what grass is like. I've experienced grass all my life. I don't need a, expose on grass blowing in the wind. So then you cut to another group. So this one's just a boy. And this is baby daddy. He's trying to find her. I think her name is Becky. I said, of course her name is Becky. He's trying to find Becky, who done ran off because he feels bad because, he wasn't doing what he should have been doing as a new father to this unborn child. So he's trying to find them. And so then he's calling. He stops at a gas station. He's doing all this random stuff. He looks kind of bummy. So I was like, I see why she left. He finds them though. He sees the car. He's like, "Oh my God, that's Becky's car. That's them. They was here." So he goes into the church. He wanders in. Now the church is beautiful, so I can kind of actually see why people would stop there because the church on the inside was gorgeous. I have a thing for churches. I love them. The green lights and the stained glass, so it was shedding a green light into the church. And then he keeps walking back down. I'm thinking, all right, maybe somebody's gonna pop up, maybe something's gonna happen. Nothing happens. He walks to the back. It's just this room. There's nothing going on in there. Maybe a couple of flashes or something, but there's not actually anything in there. So then he walks out. So that's when he starts. I'm trying to remember why he even went into there. I think he hears them, so he's like, "Let me go find them," because it does that whole kind of trope of a strange voice calling out for help, and so you go in to try to help them. So he's like, he feels guilty, so of course he's going in. He runs across the little boy. So there's a little boy that's been calling out for help. And the little boy's just like, "Oh yeah, I I know where she is. Are you sure you want to go and see her? You don't really want to go there." And he's like, "No, take me to Becky," because he's been wandering around for hours. It's dark by the time he meets up with the little boy. So the little boy takes him over to Becky. But he was like, "You gotta stay close." And I was like, "Is there something in the grass?" Because we've yet to actually see something. So I'm still like, okay, is this a creature? Is it something supernatural? Is this just paranoia? We still don't know what's happening with these people. It's a letdown when you find out. So he finds Becky. Becky dead. Okay. He's all sad. He's all depressed. He's all whatever. So then he's like, all right, well then, how do I get out of here? But then, we're getting the jumps. Now we're with this couple. And it's the little boy. So I'm like, all right, so is this like a time jump thing? Is this something where, we're looking at multiple dimensions? So the little boy, he's with his family. They go out they got a dog. They have a dog. So the dog runs off into the grass. And the little boy, of course, like a fool, runs after the dog into the grass. And then the mom's like, "We got to get our son." And the dad, who's on his phone, and he's like, trying, I guess, to play businessman and make his deals. He's like, all right, we're going to go in there. We're going to get him real quick. We'll get out. It won't be a big thing. Of course, they're wandering around for the end of time through this tall grass, just like everybody else. And so then they all get separated. And the dad is wandering around, and you see him, and he gets to the center, I suppose. And so in the center, so this is where we get to the tomfoolery, is a rock. And the rock is, I don't know, maybe like a being from another planet. Maybe it seems like maybe there were some rituals done around this rock, and so the rock has some influence and impact on people, and it's got its maze of the grass, and it lures people in, I guess, to feed it energy or something. I don't really know. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me because I was just like, this is dumb. So he goes, and the dad, he touches the rock, and then he gets weird. I still am like, maybe it's just that they are dehydrated, so they're a bit delusional. I don't know. So then eventually everybody ends up coming back together. They all end up finding each other, even though I'm like, yo, wasn't old girl dead like 30 minutes ago? Again, this is a long movie. So old girl was dead. She's not dead now. I guess he ran into a later version of her, or I guess an earlier version if she's alive. And then they run into the dad, and dad's like, "I know how to get out of here." And so everyone's all excited. They're like, "Yay, we're going to get out." He takes them to the rock, and he starts going on about how the rock is the salvation, and you just touch it and you'll be enlightened and you'll start to understand. And he was like, "We're not leaving until everybody touches the rock." And the mom's like, "I want to go." And he's like, "You're not going anywhere." And then so the baby daddy is like, "I think we should let them go." And everybody just wants to leave. We don't really want to touch the rock. And he's like, "You must touch the rock." And I was thinking, "Oh, this stupid freaking rock." So then the dad's running around. He gets in a fight with baby daddy, ends up squashing mama's head. So she out the game. We don't see her anymore, which I was like, okay, we'll get to this in a minute. So they run off, right? Dad's chasing them. They're all lost up inside the grass. This stupid freaking grass. They're in this grass and they're lost and they're wandering around. And the girl, Becky, she keeps having all these pains with her pregnancy. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know if she was unhealthy. I don't know if it was just the stress. I don't really know what was happening. But I was like, yo, girl, maybe you need to go get some help. I don't know why you out here running around. They need to just put you on, not a rock, I guess, but put you in a spot, get out, and then come back and get you. So they're wandering around, and the little boy is just like, we're just going to be stuck here. We're just going to stay stuck here. And I was like, you are. They run into this dog. They go into all these fights, of course, because there's this weird thing going on, like I said, with Becky and her brother and the baby daddy. And the baby daddy called them out and was like, you're just trying to, you wish that you were the one sleeping with her and that this was your baby. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. Because I was like, this brother is a little off. He's a bit strange. He's real into like all of this. Like, I understand caring for your sibling, but like, not like that. So then they have their little squabble, but the little boy is like, stop. And I was like, oh God, okay. So then he's like, well, he puts the little baby daddy puts the boy on his shoulders and he's like, what do you see? He's like, I don't see the road, but I see a building. So they run to the building. You know, they let the little boy lead them. And I was like, finally, somebody with a brain. They get to the building. It's abandoned. There's nothing going on there. And I think this is actually when they have the fight about the baby daddy thing and the weird brother thing. But it doesn't really matter, honestly, when this stuff happens, because the movie, it doesn't matter. So then the dad shows up, because the dad is like kind of got some supernatural powers now, some super strength, some super all this stuff going on. He shows up. He's banging on the door. They run upstairs, which I'm like, everybody knows you don't go up because there's no way to really ensure that you can get down if you go up. So now that you can't escape, so dad gets in. They're up on the roof. They're looking around to see what they can see, and they're realizing there's a hole. There's a hole to get out of the grass. So they're like, we got to get out through the hole. But then he's like, but we got to go to the grass to get to the hole. And I'm like, well, of course, y'all not gonna make it. I was like, I hope this is one of those movies. I have these times when I meet characters and I don't like them. So I'm like, I hope they all die in the end. And I was like, all of y'all can get it. All of y'all can stay in this grass forever, as far as I'm concerned. So none of us ever have to deal with this again. So I think baby daddy slips and the brother has him, but then he's like, oh, it'd be better if you go. So he like lets him fall. And so he falls and he's, you know, so then Becky's all upset. She's like, what happened to Travis? Is his name. Travis. That's the baby daddy's name. What happened to Travis? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, Negro, you know, but you don't care. It's all right. You go ahead and say, oh, we all know things are not right here between you and your sister. And so they get down, they're escaping because Travis and the dad are fighting. That dad is crazy. He's trying to knock him out and everything. They end up squabbling. So Becky and the brother and the little boy, they're running through the grass. Becky confronts her brother finally about his weird behavior. And I don't even remember what happens to the brother. Something happens to the brother. He wanders off, or he gets, I don't know, picked off or something. Little boy gone too. So it's just Becky wandering through the grass, and she's all upset. And I think she ends up back at that stupid rock. And so she's all alone, and she's just like, I'm gonna die here. But she doesn't, and she goes through, I think she has the baby. I'm still a little confused about that. There's a little creature swallowed up, but there's all this chanting. I guess it's supposed to be maybe like a tribal, quote unquote, indigenous peoples chanting, because of course indigenous practices are always demonized and made to be seen as this negative thing where they're trying to kill people and all this other stuff, which I'm like, for all y'all know, they could have just been talking about, we hope the grass grows so we can eat for a year or whatever. So then she has the baby. She's all having these moments and visions and seeing like all these people by the rock, and there's people under the rock, and they're screaming and they're hollering, and there's like creatures in the rock thing, and it like goes down into the ground. I don't know if this is supposed to be hell or something, but it's just weird stuff going on down there with the rock. And I'm sitting here the whole time like, girl, you got to get out of here. But she's out for the count. So then the brother shows up again, and I'm like, ugh, he's back. And he's like, oh no, I have to make sure she has her water. So I don't know where he got this water from. Well, it was raining, so maybe he got it from the water, from the rain that was coming. Because I was like, ooh. But he gives her the water so she's not dehydrated. And then he's giving her, I think, the grass to eat. And cause I was like, okay, maybe he killed somebody. Now he's feeding her this person because he's crazy. But I think he was giving her the grass to eat and she was just eating. He was like, the people with the seeds. And back in the day, and they would eat, there was a man and he ate all the seeds so they could grow and they could prosper. And it was grass and seeds in the grass. And I was just like, dude, what are you going on about? And he was like, they've done it for years. So, I guess he was trying to say, you eating some of the grass and having some of the seeds won't be bad. You'll be all right. I was like, yo, he's lost it. He's a lost cause. So the premise is that this is one of those weird, yes, multidimensional time continuum things, and that they showed up in different times, but time doesn't work the same once you get into the grass. It's kind of like, I've heard, I haven't seen the new Blair Witch Project because I have issues with the Blair Witch Project from when I was a child. I was traumatized. I'm not watching the new one. But when you get into the grass, time doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So when Travis' baby daddy ran back into Becky with her brother, they were like, we've only been here 2 days. He was like, y'all been gone 2 months. Who knows how long that little boy had been gone? Who really cares how long the little boy had been gone? They are all stuck inside this stupid grass. Now, what happened to the other people with the other cars? We still don't know. I guess they're the people that are under the rock screaming, but they look like they were cars from like the 1920s, 1940s. So they've been there for a while. So they are lost cause anyway. So they're trying to, I guess, like escape. They're like, we got to get out of the grass. And they run back into the dad. And it turns out that because of, I guess, this time continuum and the powers with the rock or whatever, it's kind of a loop. They're stuck in a loop. And so the dad's been killing them and he just keeps on doing it. It just keeps on happening. It's kind of like maybe what could be the storyline. We don't know yet because it hasn't been revealed with Attack on Titan. Y'all know how I feel about Attack on Titan, where they were talking about the time loop and how they just keep kind of living this out over and over again. Well, it's insinuated or it's said that the dad has been killing them and then he just kind of keeps happening. So that's why, even though old girl Becky in the beginning was dead, when Travis, baby daddy, found her again, she was alive because I guess she reset, the time loop reset out. Maybe the grass grew, I don't know. And so they were able to reset. Maybe that needs sacrifices, and so it keeps them alive so that it keeps getting it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So they have a showdown with the dad by the rock. They're fighting. Dad is winning. Travis' baby daddy ends up like finally going at him because Travis' baby daddy got stabbed. But then he comes back for the comeback role. He's beating Dad's head into the rock. And he finally takes Dad out. So then Travis is like, there's no way we're going to get out if we don't find a way to kind of like hack into this. So he's like, all right, I got to do it. And of course, little boy, he's like, no, don't. You'll never get out. And I was like, it really doesn't matter. This is awful anyway. Give yourself to the rock. I was here for it. I kind of understood at the end how these people ended up where they did because I was like, yes, go with the rock because who wants to be wandering through this place anymore? This is terrible. So Travis' baby daddy goes and put his hand on the rock and he's like, he is illuminated. He finds out what it is that's going on and he sees the path through and out of the rock and he understands that the rock knows things. And I was just like, it's just a rock. But whatever. Maybe it's like a sentient being from another planet. Maybe it's a leftover from past times, from pagan practices. Maybe it is the remnants of an old god that has been forgotten. I don't know. The rock knows what the rock knows. So he knows the way out. So he's like, okay, I know the way out. We're going to get you out of here. Because he goes, he talked to the little boy, you don't belong here, and neither does Becky. And I was like, forget Becky. But okay. Because now he feels bad. Oh, we got the backstory right about the baby daddy and the baby. Because he was like, you can abort the baby and get rid of it. And so like there's a whole guilt trip thing about like getting rid of the baby. And then Becky feels bad because she was going to get rid of the baby. And so they have like their little moment before she dies. And it's just like, all right, girl, bye. Because now you having a baby in the grass, giving it off to the rock god. Like, anyways. So he takes the little boy, and they get to this point, and he picks up the little boy, and then he sets him on a platform. And I was like, what platform is this in the middle of this grass? Girl, it's not a platform in the grass. I guess now he got some powers too, because he takes him back. He said, make sure that they don't come and look for you. So the little boy's looking around. He back in that room in the back of the church. So he's wandering through the church. He looks all nervous. And then he opens up the door, and dun dun dun, he's back in time with Becky and the brother before they go into the grass. And he can hear himself in the grass calling for them. So here's Becky, and she's like, don't you hear that? I think we need to go get him. And the brother's like, I don't know. And so then she's like, no, we have to go. So there's Becky with her stupid self trying to go off into the grass. And the grass, like, I guess once you kind of get in, it lures you in. And here comes the little boy. He's running. He's like, don't go in there. You'll never get out. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, where are your parents? And I was like, if I see some random little dirty kid come running up to me talking about don't go in there, you'll never get out, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to believe the dirty boy. Because, you know, if I hear a random child screaming for help inside of the grass that I can't see the into, so I don't even know what's in there. There's too many unknowns. There's too many unknowns to just be going into the grass trying to save people. So if I see a dirty little boy that I can see, that I can touch, who's telling me not to go into the grass, I'm going to believe him. I don't really care. I hope your parents are well. I hope maybe they're back there in the church. But if you're like, let's just leave, we're leaving. We're getting in the car. We're going. We don't need to have a lot of discussion, because you know where we can have a discussion? I'll tell you where we can have a discussion. At the police station. Because regardless of all this stuff going on about police killings and police brutality and all that other stuff, guess who doesn't get paid to be going into the grass to look for random people? Not me. I don't get paid for that. Guess who does get paid for that? The police. So guess who I'm going to go tell that there's random people screaming for help inside some grass field? I'm going to go tell them. So guess what, little boy? Little dirty boy? I hope this isn't some trick so that you and your weird, like, random people on the road can kill me. But little boy, we're going to get in this car and we're going to take you to the police station. And we're going to find out what's happening here through somebody else and not me. So finally, Becky, because the Travis baby daddy, there was some necklace thing he gave Becky. And so he has the dirty, nasty necklace because Becky dead inside the woods, or in the woods. It makes more sense with the woods, but in the grass in his reality. So he gives that to the little boy, and the little boy gives this to her. And she's like, where did you get this? And he's like, I got it from Travis. And she's like, from Travis? How did you do that? So then she's like, so the brother's going on, and the grass almost has him. This almost pulls him in. And she goes, no, don't go in there. We're not doing this. Come back right now. So of course, because that boy's in love with his sister, and he does everything she tells her. She runs back, and she's like, we have to get out of here. Something's not right. It took you all this time to realize that something about this situation is not right, that something about this situation is not okay. I was like, Becky, you deserve to be inside of that grass. I don't care what that Travis boy says. You deserve to be in the grass. You deserve to get got, because it took you too dang long to figure out that something's not right about this situation. So they get in the car. They drive away. The little boy's in the back looking scared the whole time. I'm just like, you done made it, your parents are out there, in the grass forever. And then so they drive away. So they make it. Woohoo! They never go into the grass. I don't know if the previous versions of them will still be there, but at least at this frame, they won't be there in the grass. And they drive away. Woohoo for them. Yay. And then we come back and we see Travis, and Travis's ass is still in the grass. He's standing there looking pressed. I don't know if he becomes a rock worshiper or one of the Rock's people. He's got the Rock's vision of the life. And that's it. That's it. And I don't know. They didn't even do the thing at the end where, like, you see another random car drive up and somebody else end up coming into the grass, like, to say that the cycle continues. They didn't even do that. They probably ran out of money, even though I'm guessing, I don't know how much money you get for making a movie where you're just in a bunch of grass the whole time. So that was the movie about in the tall grass. It is literally a movie about grass. There's a really pretty shot with some water, like a dewdrop rolling down a blade of grass. That was really pretty. But basically that's it. So if you want to watch people wander around inside of a maze of grass, this is it. This is your movie. This is the one. Yay. That's it. I can't talk about this movie anymore. Especially since I saw that movie about the little black boy with the supernatural powers is coming up. Or maybe not supernatural powers, but the superpowers. It's out. You know, I wasted my time watching this movie about these grass people when I could have been watching that. It's Raising Dion. So that's what I'm about to go watch, and I'll do a review of that one. Wasted my time watching these people wander around this damn grass field. I'm leaving. I'm not talking about this anymore. So watch it, don't watch it. It's whatever. Have a great day. Goodbye.